They rarely raise their voice, rarely rush their words, yet something behind their calm feels dangerously tight. While chaos moves around them, their face remains steady, almost detached, like nothing ever truly reaches inside. People admire this composure, never noticing the strain quietly held beneath controlled breathing and measured pauses. Sometimes the calm feels practiced, as if learned through necessity rather than temperament. And the unsettling part is how familiar this calm might feel when you sit with it long enough. Some people stay here because noticing these patterns sharpens awareness without demanding anything in return. Calm individuals are often labeled strong, mature, or emotionally intelligent, as if steadiness automatically means inner peace and resilience. Society praises composure as mastery, assuming those who do not react must be unaffected by what happens around them. When someone remains calm under pressure, others project stability onto them without questioning the internal cost. They become the dependable one, the listener, the anchor, roles assigned quietly and rarely declined. Because they do not complain, their silence is interpreted as coping rather than containment. People mistake emotional control for emotional absence, assuming nothing painful exists beneath the surface. Their calm becomes a permission slip for others to unload stress, anger, and chaos freely. Friends may say they handle things well, without realizing handling does not mean processing. In workplaces, they are trusted with pressure because they never visibly crack. This misreading grows stronger over time, as the calm person learns their inner struggle makes others uncomfortable. Eventually, even concern fades, replaced by expectation that they will always be fine. If you have ever felt invisible while appearing composed, noticing how often others echo that experience can feel quietly validating. And beneath this misunderstanding lies a deeper pattern that explains why the calm rarely breaks outwardly. The calm exterior often forms early, shaped by environments where emotional expression created consequences rather than comfort. They learned that staying composed reduced conflict, drawing less attention while allowing situations to pass without escalation. Inside, emotions were not absent, they were stored, delayed, compressed into manageable internal spaces. This pattern rewards endurance over release, teaching the mind to prioritize control above relief. Over time, calm becomes automatic, a reflex rather than a choice, even when the body signals distress. The nervous system adapts by muting outward responses while heightening internal pressure. What looks like strength is often a survival adaptation, refined through repetition and necessity. They may not recognize stress immediately, because it arrives quietly rather than explosively. Breaking inside rarely feels dramatic. It feels slow, cumulative, almost ordinary. The mind stays functional while the emotional system carries unprocessed weight. Because nothing appears wrong, intervention never comes, leaving the pattern undisturbed. And this hidden structure reveals itself most clearly in ordinary moments others overlook. At work, they manage deadlines smoothly, responding calmly while internal tension tightens with every additional responsibility. Colleagues admire their steadiness, unaware of the exhaustion accumulating behind composed replies. During conflicts, they listen patiently, choosing understanding over expression, even when hurt remains unaddressed. Arguments end quickly, not because resolution occurred, but because they disengaged internally. In relationships, they reassure partners while suppressing needs that feel inconvenient or disruptive. Affection continues, yet vulnerability feels postponed until a safer, undefined time. Silence becomes their default response, not from indifference, but from emotional overload. Social situations drain them quietly, as they regulate tone, expression, and reactions continuously. They smile through conversations while tracking internal discomfort they cannot name aloud. When asked how they are, answers remain brief and reassuring, protecting others from complexity. Even joy is moderated, kept within acceptable limits to avoid drawing attention. Stress manifests physically, through fatigue, tension, or restlessness without clear cause. Moments alone are not restful, because the mind finally releases what was held back. The contrast between public calm and private strain grows wider over time. And this widening gap prepares the ground for deeper psychological forces at work. From a psychological perspective, constant calm is often maintained by heightened self-regulation, where emotional impulses are monitored, filtered, and restrained before reaching conscious expression. The brain prioritizes stability, suppressing signals that might disrupt social balance or internal order. This suppression does not remove emotion, it reroutes it inward, increasing cognitive load and physiological strain. Stress hormones remain active beneath calm behavior, keeping the body in a quiet state of readiness. Because reactions are delayed, Emotions accumulate without a clear release point. The individual learns to think through feelings rather than feel through them. This creates a split between intellectual understanding and emotional processing. The mind stays organized while the nervous system absorbs unresolved pressure. Over time, this can lead to emotional numbness mixed with sudden internal overwhelm. They may struggle to identify what they feel, sensing discomfort without language. The calm becomes a coping mechanism that once protected them. And what protected them begins shaping how deeply they can connect with others. People around them often rely on their calm, using it as emotional shelter during chaos or uncertainty. This reliance subtly shifts responsibility, placing unspoken emotional weight onto the calm individual. Others may feel safe expressing intensity, knowing it will be met with steadiness. Over time, this creates imbalance, where one contains while others release. The calm person becomes a quiet regulator for group emotions. This role limits mutual vulnerability, as their own distress remains unseen. Relationships feel stable, yet depth is constrained by unshared inner realities. Some people sense distance without understanding its source. Others assume everything is fine and never ask deeper questions. The calm individual may feel appreciated but not fully known. If you have ever depended on someone's calm while overlooking what it might cost them, reflecting on that experience often reveals shared, unspoken moments. And this awareness opens the door to a hidden strength that lives inside this pattern. There is a quiet resilience in those who remain calm, built from the ability to endure emotional intensity without collapse. They can think clearly in situations that overwhelm others, offering stability when it is most needed. Their presence often lowers tension, creating space for resolution rather than escalation. Because they observe carefully, they understand dynamics before reacting. This awareness allows thoughtful decisions rather than impulsive responses. They often carry deep empathy, even when it is not expressed openly. When balanced, their calm becomes grounding rather than suppressive. Yet every strength holds a shadow that emerges when control replaces connection. The dark side appears when calm becomes avoidance, preventing necessary expression and emotional release. Unspoken pain accumulates, turning inward and manifesting as chronic stress or quiet resentment. Others may misinterpret calm as lack of care, creating emotional distance. The individual may feel disconnected from their own emotional signals. Over time, the body bears what the voice never shared. Burnout can arrive suddenly, surprising everyone including themselves. Because breakdowns were delayed, they feel confusing and overwhelming. And this unexpressed weight eventually shapes the final pattern that brings everything into focus. When calm becomes identity, letting go of control feels threatening, as if chaos will follow expression. They may fear that revealing struggle will disappoint others or dismantle their role. This fear reinforces silence, keeping pain contained and invisible. Relationships remain functional but emotionally incomplete. Moments of connection are filtered through restraint rather than honesty. Inside, they may feel unseen despite constant presence. If you have ever hidden struggle behind calm, noticing others reflect this pattern can create a shared sense of recognition. And understanding this prepares the ground for a final, unifying insight. This pattern is not weakness or strength alone, but a balance shaped by experience and necessity. Calm is not the absence of pain, it is often how pain survives unnoticed. Breaking inside is rarely dramatic, it is quiet and gradual. Recognition allows space for expression without collapse. Seeing this pattern changes how calm is understood forever. This is not judgment, it's a pattern. Subscribe if you want to recognize them before they recognize you.